Yeah, I need a boss like that. 5 minute boss like that would be great too.
We offer more than this for customers. Just what I was saying.
And you know, had
So at this point, I'm very pleased to turn over the podium to one of our sponsors today. We have from Waterdog Computer Works, the president, Fred Robinson. We'll really appreciate them being part of today's network at noon. Please welcome Fred to say a few words and share some information.
All right. Good afternoon. Over the past few years, cyber attacks have left no industry unscathed. Of the 78,617 businesses and email account compromise scams, 41,058 occurred in the United States. The cost resulted in companies suffering $2.9 billion in losses from October 2013 to May 2018. Globally, cybercrime is expected to cost the world $6 trillion per year by 2021. Cybercrime is a serious concern for every industry worldwide. Today, I am going to be discussing monitoring the dark web and protecting your most valuable asset, your identity. What is the dark web? Part of the deep web, the dark web is where illegal activity takes place: drug deals, hacking, counterfeit money, etc. Information that is intentionally hidden from search engines is qualified to be in the dark web. Most websites are on the .onion domain and only accessible through the Tor browser. The information found in the dark web by ID agent is technically public information, not just found by the general public, and visiting the dark web is not recommended. Community-based websites go up, they go down, up again. The dark web is not a friendly place to be. So you have compromised credentials. So what? The easiest way for a cyber attacker to gain access to sensitive data is by compromising an end user's identity and credentials. Things get even worse if a stolen identity belongs to a privileged user who has even broader access and therefore provides the intruder with the keys to the kingdom. It's not surprising that most of today's cyber attacks are front-ended by credential harvesting campaigns. Common methods for harvesting credentials include the use of password sniffers, phishing campaigns, or malware attacks. Are small businesses at great risk? According to the FTC, data stolen from businesses ends up on the dark web where criminals buy and sell it to commit fraud, get fake identity documents, or fund their criminal organizations. Information available for sale on the dark web is up to 20 times more likely to come from an entity whose breach wasn't reported in the media. Many of these are smaller retailers, restaurant chains, medical practices, school districts, etc. In fact, most of the breaches in the U.S. Secret Service investigates involve small businesses. Why are small businesses so vulnerable? Smaller companies are attractive because they tend to have weaker online security. They're also doing more business than ever online via cloud services that don't use strong encryption technology. To a hacker, that translates into reams of sensitive data behind a door with an easy lock to pick. If you have any Fortune 500 companies as customers, you're an even more enticing target. You're an entry point. Worse, the laws safeguarding commercial bank accounts aren't as strong as those for personal accounts. Banks won't always reimburse businesses whose accounts get hacked, especially if a bank can prove its security meets federal guidelines, but the businesses isn't up to snuff. So you're thinking, why should I care as an SMB? General small business cybersecurity statistics. 43% of cyber attacks target small businesses. Only 14% of small businesses rate their ability to mitigate cyber risks, vulnerabilities, and attacks as highly effective. 60% of small companies go out of business within 6 months of a cyber attack. 48% of data security breaches are caused by acts of malicious intent. Human error or system failure account for the rest. Let's highlight this main reason. 60% of small businesses fold within 6 months of a cyber attack. Isn't this reason enough why you should care? Hot off the press. In December 2018, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court holds employers have a duty to exercise reasonable care to safeguard sensitive personal information about their employees and may be liable for financial damages to their employees in the event of a breach. The human factor is key. 76% of all people will use the same password for most, if not all, websites. The world doesn't do business in four walls. Where else is your information shared by your employees, even with the best of intentions in doing their day-to-day jobs that they do? How about cloud services such as Yahoo, Dropbox, ADP, Gmail, Office 365, Verizon, Facebook, LinkedIn, and many, many more? Okay, now what? Detection is increasingly important when it comes to mitigating the damage caused by a breach. The Verizon report states that 68% of breaches took months or longer to discover. Having best practices in place to detect a breach as quickly as possible helps to reduce its overall impact and can make recovery that much easier. In the event of a data breach, you should also be prepared to respond quickly and effectively. The role of dark web monitoring. Forward-thinking organizations are responding by incorporating dark web monitoring as the third prong of their cyber supply chain risk management program. Adding dark web monitoring to vendor due diligence provides a holistic look at cybersecurity through the lenses of culture, systems, and data. Now available for SMBs. We now offer Dark Web ID, a threat monitoring tool that provides 24/7 by 365 monitoring for signs a company's exposed and compromised email credentials. That platform engine scours millions of sources, including botnets, criminal chat rooms, peer-to-peer networks, malicious websites and blogs, bulletin boards, illegal black market sites, and other private and public forums, all to ensure we know as soon as a compromise occurs. A closing thought. Address the threat of the dark web before it's too late. As long as there is a demand for stolen goods in the dark web, cyber criminals will continue launching attacks against small businesses for data that will return a profit on the black market. Luckily, small businesses don't have to wait. From educating employees on good cyber hygiene habits to employing malware detection software, small businesses can make the moves to push back against the threat of the dark web. Deploy dark web monitoring and response tools. Whenever an organization is breached, there's a very real possibility the stolen information will find its way to the black market. Small businesses should utilize dark web monitoring tools to alert companies when any activity associated with sensitive information is detected on the dark web. When you all arrived, we gave you an envelope. Now the suspense. Inside is a risk analysis that shows your company's total number of compromised credentials. We searched a total of 51 companies. 16 of them had 0 compromises, and 35 of them had 1 to over 10,000 compromised credentials. If you're so inclined, well, you're already doing it, now would be a good time to open up your envelope and see your results. There is a full detailed report that I'd be happy to go over with you at a later time and talk to you about the 15 ways to protect your business from a cyber attack. Please call my office to schedule an appointment. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
I guess we thought you needed a good scare on Monday morning here.